Peer feedback, the answer to your grading woes. Hi there, I am Dr. Whitney Sivils-Sawyer, and today we will be discussing my poster session on peer feedback. Are you overwhelmed with grading? Are you unsure if your students are truly mastering the content? If you answered yes to either of these questions, then peer feedback may be the method for you. In this poster session, I will discuss various methods for grading utilizing peer feedback. Participants will be introduced to multiple methods for assessing using peer feedback. In this session, I will cover both free and paid ways to collect feedback and to assess student learning. What is it? Feedback has been shown to improve learning. Peer feedback is feedback that comes from peers rather than the actual teacher. Peer feedback engages students in their own learning process while taking both the roles of the examiner and the examinee. Research has shown that active engagement required while providing peer feedback improves the academic achievement of both the reviewer and the reviewee. So basically, that active engagement reinforces the content through the peer feedback process. Also, grading is a time consuming task, and peer assessment can relieve some of the pressure that educators face to provide timely feedback. In order to utilize peer feedback effectively, using technology is necessary. So, how do you get started? This poster session will cover how to effectively collect peer feedback using both free and paid tools. The free tools that we will discuss are all Google Workspace tools, and the paid tool is one called Critic. So, the free tool. First, you can use Google Drive and use that to pass out the artifacts for assessment. So your students turn in their work and you can create a copy of it in Google Drive and share it directly with the students to assess their peers. You can then use Google Forms to actually collect the peer feedback. So this could be data using scores off of a rubric, and it could also be written feedback. Then you would turn around and use Google Sheets to analyze that data, so the rubric scores and also the written feedback. And then you can create a Google Doc that you would share back to the student, and it would include their scores from the rubric and all the feedback received from their peers. So if you had three students evaluating one of their peers, they would receive a total score from the rubric of the averages between the three evaluators, and then all feedback from three evaluators. The paid tool that this poster session will cover is called Critic. This is an all-in-one tool. It does everything inside of it, which is why it's a paid and proprietary. It allows students to submit directly to Critic, that it automatically passes out submissions for feedback. Then using algorithms, it calculates a score for each student, and it takes into account how well somebody assesses based on a calibration activity at the beginning of the use of Critic. So the algorithm is really good at making sure that the score is reflective of the student's work. And then the students are able to see their scores and the written feedback all within Critic. So this allows you to do everything inside of one system. The Google Workspace system works perfectly fine. It's just a little more labor intensive. So if you'd like to connect with me, here's my email address and my Twitter handle, and I hope to see you at my poster session.